A woman named Samantha lived in a village called Athens. She had a daughter-in-law. Her name was Rosie. Rosie had a daughter named Sam. Rosie used to drop Sam to school and run all the chores around the house. Running small errands like getting groceries was part of her regular life. Samantha had a business of selling pickles and crisps. Her son Sergio used to work in the farms. He had a cow. Samantha used to make curd using the milk from the cow to sell. Samantha's business was going very good. One day, a man from the village visits her. He says,
Samantha, I have some work from you. Please come out.
"Hello, Robert. Come. What brings you here?"
My daughter is getting married. I need 5 kg pickles and 5 kg crisps. Will you be able to manage till the wedding?
"Yeah, I will manage. My curd is also very good. The guest will lick their fingers."
Yes, I know that. I'll take the curd on the day of wedding, okay?
"Okay, Robert. I will get your crisps and pickles ready by tomorrow. You can come and take them tomorrow."
Okay, Samantha. Here is your advance. I will come to get the pickles and crisps tomorrow.
"Okay." Saying this, Robert leaves from there. Right after Robert leaves, Samantha gets to the work. She had pickles, but she had to prepare the crisps. That is also in a single day. She quickly starts preparing the dough for crisps. And she thinks of taking the help from Rosie. Samantha to Rosie. "Rosie?" "Yes, mother." "Please come and help me prepare the dough for the crisps." "Yes, mother, I am coming." Saying this, Rosie goes to Samantha. Rosie sees Samantha is adding less spices to the dough. Then Rosie to Samantha. "Mother, I think the spices are not enough in the dough. Add some more." "No, I think this much is enough. If I add more, then the cost for us will be high." "But mother, we are charging for this. The customer have paid us in full. We should also give good quality of stuff." "Oh, Rosie, don't give me lecture. I know my work very well. Understood?" Saying this, Rosie also starts to prepare the dough and then starts making the crisps. Rosie leaves because of household work. Samantha keeps on making the crisps. Samantha prepares 5 kg of crisps and leave them out to dry. Then Rosie calls for Samantha. "Mother, the food is ready. Please come." "Yes, coming." Everyone sits to eat the food. After eating, Sergio tells about the things he needs to do in the farm, and Sam tells them about her school. After having the conversation, they all go to sleep. In the morning, Samantha gathers all the crisps and stuffs them into a bag and fills the pickles in a big jar. Right then, Robert enters and says,
Samantha, are my pickles and crisps ready?
"Yes, Robert, your pickles and crisps are ready. Here they are." Saying this, Samantha hands over the pickles and crisps to Robert. And Robert says,
Sister, I'll take 5 kg curd on the day of wedding. Keep them ready.
"Yes, I will keep them ready. You send someone to pick them up."
Here is your money. I should be moving now.
"Okay." Robert leaves from there with pickles and crisps. Samantha looks at the money and gets very happy. She takes the money to her room and put them in her sack and gets on with other work. Now Samantha used to prepare crisps after her course every day, but now she started adding less ingredient in them. One day she gets an idea. If I start selling less quantity after marrying, then it will mean more profit for me. And if I add less spices in the crisp, then I can make more profit. In such a way, Samantha thinks of herself. And from the next day, she starts to deliver less quantity of pickles and she also increases the price of her curd. She delivers 5 kg of curd to Robert and took rupees 300 for that. Then her son Sergio says to her,
Mother, the cow is giving less milk nowadays. If there is any shortage, then you can buy from the outside.
No, I will manage. We will see to it afterwards. If there is shortage, then I will manage."
Okay, mother. I will go to the farm now.
"Okay, son." Saying this, Sergio leaves for the farm. And as Samantha starts thinking, and then Ray enters to take the curd.
Auntie, I need 1 kg fresh curd.
"Yes, Ray. Wait, I will get it." After saying this, Samantha gets 1 kilogram curd in a box. Seeing that curd, Ray says,
Auntie, There is a lot of water in the curd nowadays.
My son, this is because of the hot summers. That's why the curd is like this.
Okay, auntie, here is the money. Allow me to leave.
Okay, fine. Samantha counts the money and says to herself, he wants good curd for less money. Who works here with that much honesty? Trying to teach me how to work? Saying this, Samantha goes back inside the house. She remembers what Sergio said to her, that if there is shortage of milk, then get it from the outside. She again thinks to herself, if there is shortage of milk, then I have to figure something out. Otherwise, I will lose my clients. Samantha was getting greedier every day. Her daughter-in-law was watching everything. Samantha was selling less pickles, adding less spices to the crisps, and now she was adding water to the milk to prepare the curd. Her customers were complaining to her. Rosie decides to talk to Samantha on this, and she goes to Samantha after thinking of something. Mother, the crisp that you sold to Robert uncle for his daughter's wedding, guests were saying that they are tasteless. What are you saying? I am telling the truth, mother. I have heard it by myself. If this is how it is, then why didn't Robert said anything to me? Mother, everyone is scared to say anything to you. That's why they don't say anything. But this will impact your business. Your customer will be limited. People will start buying from someone else because of not getting good crisp. It will give you huge losses. And you make the food very delicious. You don't need to add or dilute anything. Just make them as you used to. Yes, dear, you are right. But the things are very expensive now. Mother, you can increase the prices. But whatever we are selling to the customers, they will become addicted to it. Yes, dear, I never thought like this. I was ruining the taste of my crisp by adding less spices to it. And mother, you don't have to dilute the milk as well. If the milk from one cow is not enough, then we will get one more cow as well. This will avoid the shortage of the milk. Sergio said this to me in the morning. Daughter, you are telling the truth. If this happened, then I will do my work with all honesty and maintain the taste of my food. You will not get greedy about the money now, and I am always there with you. Yes, we will work together from now on. For showing me the right path, thank you very, very much. Saying this, Samantha hugs Rosie. Today, because of Rosie, Samantha's eyes were opened. Now she knew what she had to tell her customers and how she had to sell them good products. Now, Samantha's greed was gone. Rosie also gets very happy seeing all this. Now, Samantha was making up her name by selling good quality products to her customers, and people were loving the taste of her product. She earned her name and worked with honesty after this. The lesson we get from this story is that we should not be greedy in life. Greed can only cause problems to ourselves. Like they say, greed is bad.
There lived a man named Sawyer in a town called Jacksonville. He was very hardworking. He used to wake up early and do whatever work he could get on the square. One day, his friend Stephen met him and told him,
Hey Sawyer, you work so hard. Why don't you start a business of your own?
You are right, but what can I do with a small amount of money?
Hey, you can start a vada pav trolley.
Sawyer liked Stephen's suggestion. He went home thinking. He shared his idea with his wife Chloe after returning home. Sawyer's wife Chloe was very greedy. She agreed to Sawyer's idea and both of them started vada pav trolley from the very next day. Sawyer's wife prepared vada pav and Sawyer used to serve them to people. But Sawyer noticed that the people who ate vada pav from his trolley never came back. Seeing this, Sawyer started worrying. One day, he tasted his vada pav. He found the taste bitter. He yelled at his wife.
Oh, what kind of vada pav have you made? It isn't tasty. I wondered why people never came back after eating vada pav from our trolley. If the taste of vada is so bad, why will anyone come back to have it?
Sawyer started thinking. Then he recalled his friend used to live in nearby village whose wife Stella used to cook very tasty vada pav. The other day Sawyer went to Stella's home. He told her the whole story.
It's very nice you came, brother. I was also worrying, how will I nurture these kids alone? You can pay me whatever you find suitable.
From next day, Stella started making vada pav there. She made very tasty vada pav. Gradually, the number of customers increased. Their business flourished. They started making lot of profit. Sawyer started giving half of the profit to Stella. Seeing this, Sawyer's wife was jealous. She envied Stella. One fine day, she told her husband,
What are you doing? You are giving so much money to Stella for so less work. You had started this business. You bring all the material. The trolley is yours. Then why are you giving half of your profit to her? I can also prepare vada pav now. I have learnt by observing her preparing them, and the entire profit will also stay in our home.
After listening to Chloe, Sawyer started thinking on that matter. The very next day, he talked to Stella.
Look, Stella, I work for the whole day. I bring the material, set up the trolley, and in the evening I clean the shop and do everything. You only prepare vada pav and I give you a large sum of money for that. I will not be able to give that to you from today. I can give you rupees 200 for a day. If you wish to work, you can stay or else you can go.
Hey brother, why are you saying this? Taste is everything in food business. Our business is flourishing because of the combination of your hard work and the taste of my cooking. Everything is there in the taste of the food. Why are you talking bizarre?
Oh gosh, now my words are bizarre for you. My wife can also make this vada pav now. Customers come to my shop seeing me and not because of the taste in your preparation. Come on, now we don't need you. You can go now.
Stella left sadly. She was sitting with her 2 kids under a tree. Seeing Stella sad, a gentleman from nearby village came. He had overheard the conversation between Stella and Sawyer. He suggested Stella to start a business of vada pav of her own. Stella liked this idea. Her son Roger said,
Yes, Ma. We brothers will help you in your work.
After a few days, Stella started a vada pav trolley near Sawyer's shop. Stella's kids helped her in her work. But their business was not flourishing, whereas customers were crowded in Sawyer's shop. Seeing this, Sawyer told Stella,
You see, I told you everyone comes because of me and not you. Don't waste your time here. Go and work as a labor in village.
Things went on for few days in the same manner. One day, a company owner came to Sawyer's shop in his car and told Sawyer,
I have heard you sell very good vada pav. Will you prepare vada pav for my workers of my company? I have come here to taste your vada pav.
Sawyer served vada pav to the company owner. But after eating the vada pav, the owner said,
Hey bro, I heard a lot of praise of this vada pav. But your vada pav is not worth.
Right then, Stella's son came with a vada pav to that owner and gave that to the owner. Owner took the vada pav and tasted it. He liked that a lot.
Wow, this is the real taste of vada pav.
Then the owner went to Stella's shop and gave her a big order for making vada pav for the company's workers. He gave her money and went from there. Seeing this, some of Sawyer's customers went to Stella's shop. They liked Stella's vada pav. Gradually, Stella's business started to flourish, whereas Sawyer's business went down. After a few days, Stella got her kids admission in school. Poor Sawyer had to wind up his business and he said to his wife,
Chloe, I have understood now. It's not only my effort that would work. There must be taste in the cook's hand. Our business shut down because of our greed. Now we will have to start another business.
Friends, this story teaches us that we should admire everyone's talent and expertise.
A man named Michael lived in a village. He had a big dairy shop. He used to provide milk, curd, and other dairy products in his shop.
Hey, what is this? Where did so many flies come today? Hey. Oh shit. Let me throw this before anyone sees.
Michael was a miser. Uncle Michael, please give me 2 kg butter.
Sure, son, I will give you right away.
Hey, what is this? Uncle Michael, there is a fly in it.
What? A fly? Show me.
The boy shows Michael the box of butter.
Wait, son. I will give you another box of butter.
Michael takes out the fly from the box and hands over the same box to the boy.
Take this, son. Is it okay now?
Yes, Uncle Michael. Thank you. I will leave now. At that time, there arrived 2 sepoys from the palace.
Listen, Michael. 40 kg butter should be delivered by noon in the palace.
Yeah, sure. But such a high quantity of butter? Is there a party in palace today?
Yes, today the king has thrown a party for the ministers.
Okay. Don't worry. You will get the butter on time.
Sepoys leave, and Michael starts preparing butter.
Listen, Simon. We have to deliver 40 kg of butter to the palace by afternoon. Let's start working quickly. But master, we don't have enough milk to prepare 40 kg of butter. Do one thing. Add half quantity water to the milk we have. That will do the work. But master, that will not be right. If the king finds this out, then he will punish us. You do your work quietly or get lost. Oh, okay, master.
Simon adds water to the milk, but even then, the quantity is not enough. Simon goes to his master to inform him.
Master, I added water to the milk, but even then, preparing 40 kg of butter is not possible. What shall we do now? Okay. You go out there and look after the shop. I will take care of this. Okay, master. I should add vegetable oil to this.
Michael takes the case of vegetable oil and adds the butter, and that fills the case of butter fully.
Wow, my work is done. Now I have to deliver this to the palace quickly.
Michael takes the case of butter to the palace and returns home after delivering that. All the ministers arrive at the party. The party was wonderful. The king welcomes the ministers wholeheartedly. All the ministers eat a lot of food. After the dinner, ministers meet the king and go back to their homes. The king offers each minister a box of sweet as return gift.
Wow, the aroma of the sweets is so good. I will also taste the sweets.
The king tasted the sweet happily. The ministers also enjoyed the sweets just like the king. After eating the sweets, the king falls sick.
Your Highness, the ministers have also fallen sick like you. What? How's this possible? Seems like something was wrong with the sweets. Go and call the chef.
Yes, Your Highness.
You fool! What kind of sweet did you make? Everyone has fallen sick after eating your sweets.
Your Highness, I prepared it very carefully. I have no idea what happened. Your Highness, I think all this happened because of Michael's butter.
Are you sure that all have fallen sick because of that butter?
Yes, Your Highness, because I could smell vegetable oil in that butter.
This means Michael cheats everyone with adulteration. General, send 2 sepoys to Michael's house to keep an eye on him. Yes, Your Highness.
Sepoys arrive at Michael's house and sneak up. The Michael was adding vegetable oil to the butter.
Oh, what's this? Michael is putting everyone in trouble by adulteration. Yes, we should catch him red-handed and take him to the king.
Yes, come quickly.
Sepoys enter Michael's house and catch him red-handed.
You adulterate butter? Now you will have to answer the king. No, please forgive me.
Come, now you will explain things to the king.
Sepoys bring Michael to the palace.
Your Highness, we caught Michael red-handed, adulterating butter.
Does this mean that you fool everyone? Please forgive me, Your Highness. I made a mistake. I will never do this. General, take him and throw in jail. No, Your Highness, please forgive me. I will never do this.
The king does not listen to Michael, and the general throws him in jail.
There was a farmer named Gary. One day he was working in his farm. Suddenly, he found a pot full of gold in the field, which was filled with gold coins.
Oh, pot of gold. I am so lucky. Katie will be so happy when I'll show her.
But just as he thinks about Katie, he feels a little scared.
No. If I tell Katie, she will spread the news to the entire village.
We found a pot of gold in our farm. We found a pot of gold in our farm.
Oh my God. No. This should not happen. But how will I hide this from Katie? I cannot take this big pot all alone. I will have to find a solution.
Gary then covered the pot with soil and reached home thinking about that matter.
Today you're home early?
I'm feeling hungry. Serve the food quickly.
Katie served the food, but Gary was not focusing on eating.
Katie, I'm not hungry. I will go to the market.
That's very strange. Just now you said you were hungry. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. I'll be back late. You have your dinner and go to sleep.
Gary then goes to the market. He buys some fish and some cans of red color. He goes to his farm with those things.
I should get to work now.
Gary now mixes the red color in water and waters the farm with it. And then he spreads the fish all over the farm.
Now it's fine.
That night, he reaches his home very late.
Oh, she's asleep. Katie, get up, Katie. I have to tell you something. Oh, come fast.
What happened? You came very late today.
There is something. Come with me to the farm.
Right now? It's late night. Let's go in the morning.
No, Katie, let's go right now. It has rained in our farm.
How is this possible? It did not rain here. Sky is also clear.
Oh dear, that is the point. It has rained only in our farm, and that too, not an ordinary rain. It was rain of fish. There are plenty of fish in our farm which dropped from the sky.
Fish rain? Are you feeling okay?
I'm absolutely fine, Katie. Now come with me.
With the lantern in their hand, they both reached the farm.
See, Katie, this wasn't an ordinary rain. It was raining red from the sky. I have filled this water in a pot.
When Katie saw fish all over the farm, she was astonished. She could see red spots here and there in the farm.
Oh yes, there are so many fishes spread here. How did this happen?
This looks like a miracle. Let's take the pot filled with water home. But this is a secret, and so don't tell this to anyone.
Why will I tell anyone?
With Katie's help, Gary brings home the pot filled with gold. Next morning, before Katie wakes up, Gary hid the pot in the courtyard of his home. When Katie woke up, she came to Gary asking about the pot.
Listen, where have you kept the pot?
Pot? Which pot?
The one we brought from our farm last night.
Some of the neighbors hear Katie talking. They all come near and gather around, asking her about the pot.
Pot? Which pot? Did you find a pot of gold? What is in the pot? Did you find a treasure? Oh, no. There is nothing of that kind. She must have dreamed last night.
I haven't dreamt anything. Why do you lie? We brought a big pot last night from our farm.
Yesterday night?
Yes, yesterday night. You know, yesterday it rained very heavily in our farm.
But yesterday it didn't rain here.
That is the point. It rained only in our farm.
Huh?
And that too was not an ordinary rain. It rained red water from sky. And you know, plenty of fish also dropped from the sky on our farm. The pot was filled with that red water only.
And everybody started laughing when Katie said this.
The rain of fish? Is this really possible?
He has really gone mad.
Sister, you must have had some dream.
Come, let's go. We wasted our time. Fish rain.
crazy women.
Oh, please stop. I'm telling the truth. Oh, it really rained fish in our farm. Now you please say something.
I told you. You must have had some dream. Now let it go, Katie. Please serve the breakfast. I'm getting late for the farm.
Did I really dreamt last night?
Looking at his wife going inside with a confused mind, Gary smiles.
Secret should remain secret. Otherwise, why would we call it so?